Don Rickles, and the third one I just can't. I can't come up with. It's gone from Sweetness to Ditka, Dean Martin. I can't. That third one, it's just hard because then you're eliminating the rest.
Yeah.
The two were easy for me. I don't know why those two popped right in there. I'm like, these are the two I'd like to hang out
We
with.
might be able to make, like Shooter Jennings, his son, and David Allen Cole still alive.
I mean, if I can get like Shooter, David Allen, Hank Williams Jr. was another one.
Mitch Trubisky.
And
I think he's got time for dinner.
I think he does.
Well, what would the topic of conversation be with those guys? Because they're pretty. It's all over the board, right?
I think each guy has. I like. I love Waylon. I love his music. I think he was probably one of the best country musicians to ever live. Outside of Hank Williams Sr. And it's. So I'd want to hear like stories because there's a cartoon series that was on. I forgot what channel it was on, but Mike Judd from Beavis and Butthead and what's the guy from? God damn it, Bobby!
Seth?
No, who he did Beavis and Butthead, and he did King of the Hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he does a cartoon series where he does basically a kind of a documentary about musicians. So there's one done for country music, and there's one done for funk. So it was Waylon, it was George Jones, Johnny Paycheck, The Killer, Jerry Lee Lewis. So it's all cartoons, and they have old cohorts of him come on and tell stories, but they make a cartoon, and they blow it up and they exaggerate a lot of stuff, But it was killer watching some of these series, and Waylon always. I mean, I loved Waylon music, and watching the series, he just fascinated me.
I find it difficult a little bit to listen to. You turn on the country station here, and it's
not country.
It doesn't feel like country.
It's not country.
It's a little disappointing.
They don't play the actual country guys anymore. There's a whole slew of guys out there who are doing real country.
Yeah, I mean Jamie Johnson,
but even
Chris Stapleton.
like Stapleton's a good, but I mean he's more on I guess
he's closer to the pop.
Closer to pop. He's a great country music, and he's doing country, but he's more on the pop. But there's Shooter Jennings is I would consider on that.
Have you ever seen him in concert?
I did.
Yeah,
I seen him at the Brower House.
Oh yeah, the Brower House gets everybody.
So I've seen Shooter Jennings at the Brower House. Me and you opened up Brower House with David Allen Cole.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually B House Live. We've seen him, but there's guys like Whitey Morgan and Alex and Whitey Morgan and Cody Jenks and Wade Davis. There's all these guys out there that you never hear about, but they're amazing country musicians.
We have to get Josh out to a show.
Well, we were supposed to go see Shooter at was it Joe's that one day?
Yeah.
And something happened. I forgot what happened.
Yeah.
That was earlier in the year, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Cheers, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's a lot of fun. Now, there's one time we had a bottle of Jameson at.
One time?
Bars have actually just given us the bottle.
A lot of times.
A lot of times.
I remember,
from what I remember,
the bar to be nameless, but we would come down the stairs, and by the time we hit the corner of our, always sitting on the corner, and 9 out of 10 times we go into this bar, by the time we got to the corner of our bar, there were 2 bottles of Miller Lite and a bottle of Jameson. No glasses. No glasses.
They were too busy for us.
Yeah. And they would just hand us the bottle and put two Miller Lites on, then they'd go about their business. And outside of us getting Miller Lites, we wouldn't see them the rest of the night until the bottle was empty and they were closing up the building.
And I don't think we paid for anything.
Very little.
It was like $20.
Yeah.
Give me $20.
$20.
I think every time I got a tab, it was $20.
Yeah.
$25. $20.
It was
dangerous.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it anymore, but back then it was something.
Once in a while, I think we'd still pull it. Not regularly. No. I mean, we would do that at least twice a week in that fashion.
And you're probably lucky that you did live in Elmhurst, to be honest, because you would be out every night otherwise. Not that you weren't anyways, but
I don't think Elmhurst
I mean-
has changed much of that.
location doesn't. Now it's even easier with Uber.
Now it's even easier with Uber.
Which
Thank
is-
God for Uber.
Oh yeah. How is it riding? Did you take Uber here?
I did.
Oh, what is it like? You wear a mask and
They got us wearing masks now. And
is there they put something?
no, nothing else. But you got to wear a mask, and it's.
I don't know. I think the mask is good. At work, I have to have it. I wear it the whole time when I get out of my car until I get back in. I have a mask on, so I don't take it off.
Well, depending on where I go, because we've got, over a 25,000 square foot facility. So, if I'm by myself, I'm not wearing a
yeah.
mask. If I'm in my office, I don't have a mask on. But when I'm in the kitchen or cooking or interacting with either customers or staff,
And your staff wears gloves anyways, don't they?
Yeah.
It's not. So really, the restaurant business, outside of the mask, we kind of were doing all the things, washing our hands all the time.
Yeah, so as far as sanitation level in the restaurants, not much has changed because of COVID. Because
Yeah.
you're doing that, you're washing your hands all the time. You're wearing gloves all the time.
Sanitizing the table
You're
after people
sanitizing.
leave.
Yes, you're sanitizing all the food. After you prepare food, you're sanitizing the tables. You're making sure stuff is cooked to 165. You're being extra careful with cold product that you're not cross-contaminating and infecting. So the biggest thing that has changed is the wearing the mask in the kitchen. So for us, it wasn't a huge difference. And since I don't have a restaurant, I don't have customers coming in on a constant basis. I didn't have to worry about that constant flow of customers and sanitizing tables and all the surfaces. Because we don't have that, it's just getting the food out.
Again, it's not being in a restaurant. It wasn't a big step,
No.
an extra step for us. It's the same, and I'm hoping that people will kind of understand that. It's not. If you wear a mask and you go into a restaurant, you shouldn't feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Because the staff isn't going to make you feel uncomfortable. They're all
No.
practicing proper sanitation. Well, what should we end with? Any stories you want to tell, or?
I don't know if any of
I
them
don't
are
know if you
appropriate.
Well, here's a question. Is there any restaurant or chef you'd like to dine with?
I always
bucket
wanted.
list?
I think I missed my opportunity. I always wanted to go to El Bulli.
Yeah.
I was out there in 2000 in Spain.
For people who don't know, El Bulli was probably one of the top restaurants in the world, or was. And check it out on Chef's Table.
It started the whole gastronomy
Gastronomy,
movement, and it
most
was,
impressive food I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I really
And that
wanted.
was in the south of Spain,
It was in
or was
Roses. It was in Roses, Spain. So not that far, about an hour outside of Barcelona.
Oh, not bad at all.
So I was in Barcelona at that time, and for 3 months prior to me leaving, and even while I was there, I was calling almost every other day, just trying to just one spot, put me at the bar in a corner. I'll sit in the kitchen. I don't care. They were
Nothing.
booked. They were booked for a year solid. He was always somebody I wanted to go and experience that food and experience what he was doing. Just never got the opportunity to.
Now, have you ever tried to cook any in that style, in that vein?
No, I've
Hey,
never.
you don't need to
It's.
with
I
work,
mean, I've
but-
tried some of the stuff that he was
Techniques.
working with, and the techniques. Unless you got to like liquid nitrogen, and you're working with some of the stuff was not chemicals, but food based derivatives. To make
It's
jellies.
science,
It's a lot of science, based in it. So I never got into it. I wanted to experience it. I wanted to eat there. I wanted to see what he was doing. Although I've never felt that some of that stuff was true culinary, true food. It was, it would be an experience to have.
Yeah.
But you're not doing it every day. You're not doing it for the masses.
No.
It's a
special,
one-off.
Yeah. Have you? I forgot what oh, do you sous vide anything? You don't use sous vide for anything?
I don't sous vide for anything. No.
No.
I've wanted to try it. I've never done it.
It
though.
seems like it's great.
Yeah, it's
tool
slow.
in
It's
the
slow.
kitchen.
It's slow. It's.
But I mean, if you gotta, even if you gotta do big quantities of sous vide to a certain point, and it keeps that temperature, then.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much it holds either. Like, if you're doing quantity, it might not be useful.
Well, you're holding a low temp, so it's harder to overcook.
Yeah.
So you can do a big batch of something and not overcook it and serve it pretty much right out of the water right to the guests, and it's got the temp and it's perfect and it's not going to overcook.
Pretty good for steaks.
Yeah,
stuff
and if
like
you
that.
miss it by 2 minutes, it's
Well, cool. Yeah. I guess I should do it for our episode here. I always love sitting on the patio and seeing the neighbors.
They all love seeing you.
They probably really hate this. Yeah, so this, as I said, this will be the last episode, and then I'm going to start contacting some friends, or see what you want to do. I definitely want to check out other people's location, maybe interview people in there.
I think it'd be fun to get all your interviewees with you and go to Frank's on the first inaugural.
Well, Frank's would definitely be the first one if I can convince Frank to get on camera. He's harder than Snuffleupagus to find. But we'll look forward to seeing him one day. All right, thanks a lot.